We finally have the answer to where would Coleman Hawkins like to enjoy a game of football at. And my friends, it is in Manhattan, Kansas. We officially landed our 13th and final scholarship player on K-State basketball's roster for the 2024-25 season. And for some reason, if you missed it somehow, it's our guy Coleman Hawkins, a massive pickup, a huge name in college basketball. And folks, I am stoked to talk about Coleman Hawkins joining the Cats today. But guys, before we get into it, let me tell you this. First things first, I've really enjoyed making all this portal content. It's, now it seems to be coming towards the end, but it's been pretty dang cool having all this portal content and having you guys support it. So first of all, I appreciate you there. And if you want to keep rolling with us on the channel, I'm making videos every other day talking ball about the Cats. So be sure and stick around as we punch through this next month and get to football season, baby. We're getting closer than ever, and I can't wait for it to get here. So it's going to be a lot of fun for sure. So be sure and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, or if you're interested in sticking around for the first time or the 100th time. It helps me out immensely, and I appreciate you for doing so. Now, guys, Coleman Hawkins. I said it last week. I said Kitty Hawk. Probably going to leave that nickname behind. It didn't seem like that big of a hit. People weren't too into it. That being said, he's a damn cat, folks. We got Coleman Hawkins. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Coleman Hawkins is officially headed to Manhattan. He's one of the best players in all of college basketball, one of the best trash talkers in college basketball, and an awesome dude to have representing your team. I cannot wait to see what happens, folks. We talked about it on the channel maybe for the better part of 2 weeks, give or take. I tried not to do an episode every single update on Coleman Hawkins because that was a daily update. You could make a video every day, but I didn't want to get it to the point where it was just, this could happen, this could happen. And we finally got the answer we needed on Friday with Coleman Hawkins dropping his commitment video and announcing that, hey, I'm committed to Kansas State. I want to start off by talking about the money thing. Now, I usually do not have sources. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm just a guy that talks ball about the Cats. Sometimes I do, most times not. This one I do. The $2 million that were reported, I think Shams originally reported, Shams Charania from probably ESPN, I forget off the top of my head. I heard that's not right. I heard that there's a lot of numbers being tossed around, and I don't want to comment on the private investor stuff because I have no idea what the heck's going on there. But it's definitely not a situation where it's like, oh, K-State's just tossing $2 million at everybody. So don't take it that way. Don't look at it and say, we have X amount of money. We do have money, and we're doing the right things. But I just want to say that it's not a situation where it's like we're just tossing money out, with the dang gun that shoots all the dang money out, Snoop Dogg style. Like, that's not what we're here for. But I am pretty dang pumped we got it. And also, let me say this. Other teams thinking you have money is not a bad thing. Players thinking you have money is not a bad thing. I'm not sitting here saying we don't have money. Like, we definitely have a top 10, top 15 NIL collective. We've done incredible things, and I'm really proud of the work that K-State's done in such a short time. I mean, they really embrace the future. But in an athletic department that's run by Gene Taylor, does that surprise anybody? I mean, he's the only AD at the Big 12 tournament, which is still ridiculous to me at the Big 12 baseball tournament, that is. But Kansas State invests in athletics. They invest in their teams because they know what it means to the university, the program. Like, some teams, it's like, well, maybe our football team will win a couple games. Well, maybe our basketball team. But there's a priority order that goes this way. Gene Taylor, K-State's like, we are investing across the board because we want to be great as a program, not just a team. Connor Riley had a great quote about that kind of ties into all of what Kansas State is. So I just want to toss that out there. But yeah, a lot of these numbers, I want to tell you that now. Take it with a grain of salt. Coleman Hawkins could be making $800 million, or he could be making $1 million. None of us would have any damn clue. I'll tell you right now. But that's the case. That's the way it goes. But that's the first thing I wanted to talk about was just that from my sources, that number was not correct. That's all I'm going to say on that front. But I do have some things I want to say and just talk about the addition as well as the overall roster. Let's start here, guys. Coleman Hawkins said, I want to enjoy a football game somewhere. I don't want to play in the Big Ten. I want to play somebody that has rivalries. I want to play somewhere XYZ, whatever. How about going to Kansas State, where KU and Iowa State absolutely hate you? Not Coleman Hawkins, but they hate all of Kansas State. So Coleman Hawkins says, you know what? I love a good rivalry. I love college basketball. I want to go somewhere I can watch football. Well, Coleman Hawkins, your quarterback on the football team, has a top 10, odds to win the Heisman Trophy. He's played 4 games of college football, by the way, and he's already got that. So just to put that out there. Kid runs a 4.3. He's got a huge arm. He's an incredible kid. That's your quarterback, as is. This is a young team, and they're already favored to be like a top 15 team and make the college football playoff. Technically, it'd be top 12, but whatever. Then you also look at it and say, okay, I love rivalries. How about sharing 3 consecutive clips of the biggest rival for Kansas State, KU, of their best player getting dunked on 3 times straight? Well, dunked on twice and then crossed over once. It's different. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But kind of cool to say, hey, look, I'm embracing this, man. I am a cat. Let's go. And quickly shouting out, the rivals in the video saying, you know what, we're coming. We're out here. Pretty damn cool. And I got to say this, guys. We got to get Coleman Hawkins on the channel. Maybe he's seen the videos. Maybe he hasn't. Likely not. I don't think we're getting to that point yet. But it'd be pretty damn cool to talk to that dude. I feel like he's a good dude. And he's definitely active on social media, active on, whatever the case is, doing interviews. So I'd love to talk to Coleman Hawkins at some point. I'm going to do my best to get there. If it doesn't happen, that's on me. But we're going to try our best either way. But, dude, Look at the dang staff. Look how great they did. I'm not going to toot my own horn too much. I will do one victory lap and I'll double back and we'll forget this ever happened. That being said, there's a reason I make videos saying, hey guys, please don't jump off the bridge right now. There are so many good players left. And then you look at the roster now and you say, okay, wow, we're a top 10 team. And 2 weeks ago, you're getting ready to walk off and say this staff is awful. Like, that's the way it was. Like 2 or 3 weeks ago, you have people trying to triple backflip off the tallest building possible because you miss out on Clifford Amori or on Caliph Battle. I would rather have Coleman Hawkins than both those dudes, folks. Then you get Ugonna Onyenso. Then you get Dug McDaniel. I know it's not in this order, but Dug McDaniel, Achor. Look at the dang roster, folks. They added 6 4-star players in the transfer portal and lost 4 from the previous season. I don't want to hear the staff can't recruit, or, oh no, we're going to get screwed in the portal. I don't want to hear any more of that, guys. Next portal season, I'm just going to be blunt about it, I think, maybe. We'll see. I mean, I love all the comments. I never want to make it sound like I'm trying to dunk on anybody, but I thought it was kind of funny that the majority of comments are like, we have no front court. We're so screwed. Now you look at it, you've got Achor, Coleman Hawkins, Ugonna Onyenso, and Bayfall, and McDonald's All-American as your 4th big. That's ridiculous, folks. That's the world we live in now. So raise a glass and salute the staff. They absolutely deserve it, folks. There's a lot of people throwing things around saying this staff can't recruit. They can't close. They can't do this. They can't do this. How about closing on the biggest name in the transfer portal, Coleman Hawkins? How about closing on a team that anybody in the country would want? How about getting Dug McDaniel early, one of the first people to commit to any team in the transfer portal, early April, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They do great jobs consistently for a reason. I just want to say how incredibly excited I am for this college basketball season. Look at the starting 5, because we're going to talk about all this and more, and I should mention what's coming next on the channel. But the starting 5, to me, I've said it for the better part of a month now. Dug McDaniel at the 1, C.J. Jones at the 2, Coleman Hawkins at the 3. I was going to either say him or Achor at the 4, and then Ugonna Onyenso as the 5. Those are their starting 5. With David Gasson off the bench, with all these studs off the bench, that is a damn good lineup, folks. It's top 10, top 15 worthy. That's the world we live in right now as K-State fans. I would legitimately rage quit if I was the coach on the opposing bench saying, you know what, damn it, I got to deal with 3 dudes in the front court, 6'10" or taller, on the same court at the same time. I'd sit there and say, dang, 11 of the 13 scholarship players are over 6'4". Shout out to Cole Manbeck for the stat. I'm jacking that from him. Cole, I apologize. I love you. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. 6'4" and above. You have 11 different players of your 13 dudes on the roster that height. Think about that. Dug McDaniel's your one lone short king. I guess David Castillo, who's one of the top freshmen in the entire country and in K-State history. That's the other guy that's below 6'4". The staff added, I'm looking off over here because I have my stats pulled up, added the number 22 player, the number 54 player, the 114th, the 151st, 167, 176, number 364, and number 430 player in the transfer portal. Guys, there's teams in the Big 12 where their best player, their best add of the entire portal cycle was sub 180. Realistically, that was a guy that a $189. It's like, wow, this is a real culture defining guy. K-State knows what they're doing, man. They recruit with the best of them. They bring people to Manhattan. And, folks, it's only a matter of time before Jerome Tang delivers on that national championship. I truly believe that. And this team's going to piss a lot of people off. I'll tell you that right now. Not K-State fans, but everybody else on that opposing bench. Think about this. I love to do the argument of comparing the starting 5s. I always do the NBA player thing where I need 3 NBA players and you can win a natty if you get the right guys around him. I've already said this. Dug McDaniel, NBA dude. Obviously Coleman Hawkins, NBA dude. Obviously Achor, NBA dude. Ugonna Onyenso, NBA dude. You've got 4 in the starting lineup as is, folks. And then you get C.J. Jones, who's a 6'5" guard that can get you a triple-double on any given night. Think about that possibility. In the ability this team has going forward, there are so many great things that you're going to see this season. But I love to do the argument of compare our starting 5 to their starting 5. Whether it's Kansas, whether it's Baylor, whether it's Iowa State or Houston, first of all, those are all top 10 teams in the country right now. That's the way it goes. In years past, we've had maybe 1 guy or 2 guys, I don't want to make it sound like I'm just dunking on our teams, that would win that argument, the head-to-head matchup. You can do that with each of the top 4 or 5 teams in the Big 12 Conference, and you'll win 3 out of 5 spots on most of the teams in the Big 12 Conference as at very, very worst. Think about that. Coleman Hawkins is going to be a top 5 player in the Big 12 Conference this season. Without question, he could be a Big 12 Player of the Year, and I think he's going to be a damn good basketball player. But I have 1,000 different thoughts, and I want to just, make sure I'm saluting the staff, giving them the love they deserve, because, man, this was an awesome offseason. Those who watched my channel stayed pretty consistent and said, you know what, hey, let's wait, let's hear him out, let's see what happens, then we can freak out later. This is what happens. You get rewarded. Good things come to those who wait, and Kansas State waited and got the right dudes. Last thought on the situation before I get out of here. I've talked a ton about the transfer portal in the previous videos, and I love you guys for watching those. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching that. But when you add the 13th spot, unless something ridiculous happens, this team is done in the transfer portal. They're done. They've got their guys. the content for the next month, because we're getting closer to that July 16th, July 19th release date for EA Sports College Football. My plan is I'm going to do a video specifically breaking down each player on the roster that committed to K-State or did whatever the case is. So I'll go through and I'll start with a Doug McDaniel, then I'll go to CJ Jones and give like expectations for the season, do some video, highlight some different montage things, and kind of give my thoughts about all that. So that's going to be something to look forward to on the channel. We've got a video for you every 2 days, and I'm going to keep hitting that hard as we get closer to that 2,500 point. And I think about 2,500, I might do a live show or some type of, question-based show where you guys ask a question, I answer, whatever the case is. So be sure and be on the lookout for that. And also consider hitting that subscribe button. But guys, that's all I got for today's video. Coleman Hawkins, you are a cat. You're also a dog, and you're now my new best friend. I don't make the rules, brother. I just enforce them. But I am so excited to see him in Manhattan. I cannot wait to see this team play basketball, folks. It's been the way it's been all summer long, all offseason long. It is a great day to be a Wildcat, and I'll talk to you here soon. Go Cats.